Hello and welcome to another episode of Manju Ramanan Talks. How are you promoting that as well? Because new stories means new talent coming into the fore.
So I first work on the story, then the script, and then the actor. And that can only come when you are in love with something. Like when you are in love with some person also. Yeah, like in love stories also, you have to go out of the way. In love, you have to go out of the way. You can't just be safe.
Associate with people who are equally inclined towards one common goal of making something spectacular also.
Exactly.
The soul is missing in today's film and I want to bring back that soul. So for me, love is sacrifice. I told him, I promised him that I'll die on my set. So intent and content is mini films.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Manju Ramanan Talks. And here I am in the capital of India, New Delhi, meeting two enterprising people from the Bollywood film industry. They are new filmmakers and the kind of cinema that they envision and they are making is quite mind-blowing. They've started with a very interesting film called Forensic, which was a Malayalam film which was remade and released in Hindi. And now they are up to a lot of other new projects. On my show today, we have Varun and Mansi Bagla. Welcome to the show, folks.
Yes,
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
for
Yes,
having us here.
and you've come all the way from Mumbai to speak to me. It's amazing.
It's amazing as well.
And you come all the way from Dubai.
Yes.
Meeting me today, right?
I was quite amazed by the kind of cinema that it's your debut when it comes to making a film which was a remade film. It's a remake.
Yes.
So tell me about that process. Why did you choose that film and, the process of the filmmaking and everything?
I think when people say we have to make something different,
Yeah.
and I used to always laugh upon it, like, everybody uses the word different, but it's not different.
Yeah.
And here when we watched Forensic and we thought that, it is really a different film, I think we were sold at the interval point. And why Forensic also? Because Forensic is used in all the TV serials, in the international web series, everywhere. But it's not still a heroic project. So I look up to people, or projects who are like heroic. There has to be something about heroism about you.
Right.
That's where you are different.
Right.
So that's how Forensic happened.
Thinking about making a film, you want to show something different to the audience, right? So forensic as a terminology was there. Everybody knows what forensic is.
Right.
But how deep the study of forensic is and how it impacts the usual being and everybody in the crime space is something which people did not know.
Right.
And that is what we saw in this film, right? The angle of having a child serial killer, which is a factual thing,
Yes.
but it is still unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And it is shocking at the same time.
Exactly.
Was the biggest USP of the film, which I felt, and it was during the interval when they
The twist.
showed that.
Yeah.
The twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was something unrealistic, but it is factual.
Yes.
So it's unbelievable.
Right.
So, the intrigue to know what happens next was a lot in Forensic. And I think both of us liked that film because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning and we were watching it, and then she was like, this is a film that we have to make, and we had nobody, like we had no directors, no actors, nothing, and it was on a sheer gut that she said, okay, let's go ahead with it and let's do it, and this will be a big film.
And at the interval point.
Yeah, at the interval point, I kept saying that this is a big film, and it's going to be something large,
Like I said, it has to be heroic.
Yeah.
And it has never been seen before.
Yes.
That
no one
is very
expect a
important
child
for me.
killer. It becomes a very...
No, even like nobody has honored forensic officers till today. That was very selling point for me.
Yeah. True.
Like you have to have a forensic officer. We have police. We have everybody
so you
doctors.
did a lot of research on it as well. Is this a genre
Very
you
much.
like? Is this a genre?
I personally, I realized it later, that I've been always a fan of,
Thrillers
crime
and-
thrillers, Like I used to watch a lot of, content of international, like your CSI, Dexter, a lot of crime thrillers, and that always intrigued me. And probably that's one of the reasons that, I was also very excited when Forensic happened. And as a film, right, Forensic is in the crime thriller space. We've seen a lot of crime thrillers, right? But from a forensic point of view, we've never seen in India.
Right.
Internationally, it has been doing very well.
Yeah.
So I felt, and I always tell her that at least we've got a first mover advantage. We've created a niche in the cluttered space of crime thrillers. You know, you see a new crime thriller coming out every month by a platform,
Absolutely.
right? So what is unique in that, right? So from a forensic point of view, was the biggest USP of a film, and I'm very glad that we were able to create that niche. And probably now we'll take it forward.
Yeah, there's a part 2 somewhere I read.
Yes.
So what is that going to be?
It's going to be bigger and better, of course.
We're working on it.
Okay.
So I don't want to hurry up that, and I want to work on the script. So my forte is I work on the script. Until I'm satisfied, I don't bring it out.
Right.
So which is why we are working on the script.
So
and
you're
the story,
creatively
the
inclined?
germ. Totally.
Between the two of you, creative and finance, is it like that? How do you divide it?
I always tell, like, she's the creative brainchild for a company. You know?
Right.
Had it not been for her, we would have not been into this.
And it's named after her, right?
And
Mini
it's named
films.
after her as well.
That was very random. He convinced me that, it's okay, because I said mini films. What is mini films? Like, people would end up thinking that
it's a short film.
Yeah, short film or a, OTT
but
film
then I
only.
gave her examples of, let's say, Mini Cooper, right? It is still a luxury
He
car,
convinced
it's
me.
not a small car, right? So I think branding is all about creating that kind of an impact. And creating that kind of an impression for a brand. Like, if you're able to do that, people will resonate, right?
Yes.
There are a lot of brands and most of the biggest brands are after names of individuals who started that.
Yes.
But honestly, we didn't think about it. And we were with the idea that, let's begin something. So what do we name it? It was that random.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, let's have it mini films. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that you have always been somebody who is inclined into this visual expression, right? Like you mentioned,
yes.
saying that you would choose places and say, okay, this would be good and that would be nice and maybe a party here. So you probably had this thought quite early on.
So I'm a filmmaker mind. I'm not a, in today's time, producers, when we call producers, they are more on a project making business.
Yeah.
But I've come from the background which is old school, and I look at films as filmmaker. So that
Like a
was my
totality.
dream, totality. Like I look, I don't see films as project. I look films as like, a entire, filmmaking and, getting into all the integrities and everything.
Yeah.
I think filmmaking, trust me, I always tell people that when you are into acting or any kind of a creative field, either you are born with that natural talent or you're not.
Storytelling has to be.
Storytelling, or probably to have a indication that, okay, something which will work with the audience, what will not work with the audience, is all very natural abilities.
Right.
Nobody can teach you that in school. You can probably brush up your skills, but talent is something you have to either be born with it or you're not. It is about a lot of people identify it early so that they can improvise on that.
Right.
Some people maybe do not even identify it, right? Because probably they do not get the chance, they do not get that kind of support or the kind of facilities which is required in order to boost that talent, right? But with her, of course, it was many years back wherein we started seeing that signs, and she used to talk about, like, when we used to watch a film, we used to discuss a film for an hour. A normal person would not do that, They go there for entertainment, they'll watch a film and they'll come back home, they'll laugh, or they'll say it's a nice movie or a
song or
whatever,
yeah.
But then she wanted to go out for a drive, talk about the film. For 1 hour we used to talk, and that was every Friday.
So every Friday you had a ride to take
to town, so we used to watch a film.
After the film,
we used to go for a long drive, and that's what we used to discuss.
So many times around also.
Yeah. And then a lot of places that we used to travel, used to talk things like, this is a lovely location for a shoot, or this is where we should do our after party, success party for the film. And we were far, far away.
No, I was actually thinking I would end up being a film critique.
Okay.
Every time I came out of the theatre, I used to always pinpoint that this is nice, this was not nice, this could have been better, this was not better.
Okay, so there's a film called Chup. I don't know whether you've seen Chup, which is also in the thriller series. It's about Dulquer Salman film, which has him killing all the film critics.
Yeah. Oh, we have not watched it.
So watch that film because you're talking about film criticism. So it's quite flattering to all the film critics because somebody, a serial killer who makes sure that he targets only them. So that, yeah. So a lot of good content coming out on OTT today, and
Yes,
such a
totally.
great place to be in to tell stories.
Yeah.
And it's not the typical hero villain. The formula is broken.
Totally.
We are completely exploring every other different kinds of storytelling. I'm sure you have discovered talent yourself.
Yeah.
And your own, I'm sure you'll have your own team of more storytellers, more script writers. So how is that? How are you promoting that as well? Because new stories means new talent coming into the fore.
So I'm completely a writer and a director girl.
Okay.
So I first work on the story, then the script, and then the actor. And I do not hesitate to launch even a
Newcomer.
face, you know. So I come from that sensibilities when I work towards the script.
Right.
So for me, it is not that I have to achieve a big actor and only that when I'll make a film.
Right.
And of course, like you said, that OTT coming, I think we have arrived at a correct time.
Right.
You know, and it was God that was planning for us that, you know, we enjoyed our Lake Comos and Switzerland and everything. And then I think we arrived at the
But
film.
what's very fascinating, and I always tell her, like, of course, just started our journey of filmmaking, but I always tell her that, I see, what we used to see in, Yash Chopra. He had that daring to, launch new people, create a cinema with new people as well. He had that kind of an eye, and he's proven it through years, and I always tell her that, I see that spark in you because you dare to do that. You're confident to create that. A lot of people are not confident,
Right. Right.
And we did that, and we started a second film, and we launched somebody new, and we already finished the shoot.
Yes, tell me about that one, because it's got Adesh Srivastava's son in the film.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that film.
So it is called Fake Friday, and honestly, we need one Friday.
Yeah.
We all need that one Friday at the box office, and for
and this
the
is for the big
fame and
screen,
everything.
not
and this
for
is
OTT.
about that one Friday, and the newcomers basically.
Yeah.
So when the actors think that it is that easy to come in the film line, I always felt that it is not easy. It's like we tend to become doctors or engineers or
it's
whatever.
a profession.
For
like
an
any other.
actor also, they just think that a gym or looking good is the factor that an entry to the Bollywood
And also,
or any film
they
industry.
feel that overnight within few months are luck and life is going to change just like that.
Right.
Wherein it's not the case, right?
Right.
Like today, you want to become a doctor or a CA, you need to study for 3 years, 4 years.
So it's a
get
study.
into internship, get into a junior place, and then
move on.
progressively grow. Right, and same is with acting as well. And because you need to learn, you need to master the art, you need to try yourself up, and then you grow, right? And it has to be a full-time profession. It's not that, it's a part-time, I tried for 6 months. There are more than you would believe. There are more than 5,000 people that come every day to Mumbai, to be a part of this industry. Right. But they are just coming in, they're fighting with their
dreams. They're just following their dreams.
And they feel that, it will change overnight. But it's not that. You need to be dedicated. Your parents need to support you for that. You need to tell them that,
and you need to be at the right place at the right time with the right opportunity. And
so it is all hard work, it is passion, it is blessings, it is good wishes. It is all there in that one, thing.
Yeah.
And again, even after that one big break, you're not sure.
You're not sure.
You have to sustain
You have to be consistent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for that consistency, you have to be passionate. Like for me, I always said that it's not that I will become a one film wonder. I'm here to stay. I told him, I promised him that I'll die on my set. So that is how I'm passionate about. It's just not a business, it's just not a one film thing, or it's just not a joy that everybody wants to splurge money making films and all that. I said I'm here to stay because I know no other business, and I understand the nerves of the actors as well.
Right.
I would recommend that not everybody should become actors. They think if you're beautiful, you are an actor.
Not
if you're
necessary.
handsome, you're an actor. Not necessary.
Yeah.
Even he's handsome. I never recommended him to become an actor. I said, you never become an actor. You're good what you are doing at.
Yeah.
So it is a mutual conversation.
Right.
People think that, we have money, we have good looks, we are actors. No. So in Fake Friday, we explore that. We teach that no ras, acting ke no ras jo hote hain. That is there.
Okay.
And of course, who better than Mahesh Manjrekar as a mentor?
Yes.
Who takes us through the entire process. and the process is important. You know, the process is the pain. You know, we say that it's an overnight journey. We say it's an overnight. Like for me also, people said, "Ye kahan se aayi hai? Ye kaun hai? She's not from the industry." I'm an outsider, completely an outsider.
But an outsider has a different perspective.
Always.
Yeah.
Like you see major companies, they keep changing their CEOs every 5 years.
Yeah.
And they get people
from
different industries.
Yeah.
You know, they will never, like an FMCG company will never get somebody from FMCG.
No, because
they'll get somebody from outside. You know,
because the point of view, and what you get as creative input, as a film watcher, somebody who loves films as well as somebody who is in the film, is definitely different, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So what were the challenges? I'm sure there will be thousands of challenges when you embark on a new business journey. Yeah. But what were the things you learned about yourself in terms of your strengths when you went through these journeys?
Filmmaking is definitely a tough business. Like, you know, a lot of people try. But I feel a lot of people stay with wrong delusions of the business. You know, it is not as easy. It's just not that if you have the money you can make it, or it is just that if you have a particular story you'll be able to make it. There are a lot of elements that you need to get all together. You know, and I think it's creatively challenging as well. And from a management point of view also, it is challenging. You know, there are different challenges which comes in.
I think having the right people, right team,
you know, so
that is important.
With like 300 people, you know, for a 2-month shoot. You know, suddenly these 300 people are there 2 months before they're preparing. You know, and you need to get everything
in order.
Because
that's the time you have.
Post, and if you miss something,
you've
not shot something, how do you get the entire setup back?
Yeah,
you know?
True.
Because people then move on, they're doing different assignments, those people might not be available. Right?
Yeah, true.
So of course these were a lot of challenges which are there, but I feel that if you love, you know, the process, if you love what you create, you know, that's what everybody strives for.
Yeah.
And of course the challenges that I feel, which we face, like, you know, what I feel is to getting right kind of honest people. You know, this industry is not a very regulated industry. Right, you do not have set procedures that you need to have this.
There are freelancers. There are
freelancers, and there is no set rules.
Yeah.
Right. Today, you know, if you want to list something in the stock market, there is SEBI. You need to follow a particular set of rules and regulations. Right? If you want to work in the film industry, there's nothing like that. You know, and neither you learn anything on Google. You know, and whoever will talk to you, 99% of the people do not know the correct things. And the 1% which is there might not want to tell you the correct thing. They know it is difficult to know the correct things. You know? So it's all about self-learning.
Trial and error.
Self-learning.
So I just told him, believe in yourself. We don't need to find honest people. We are honest towards our work. And if we are honest, of course, you know, we attract good people. You know, yes, we found.
Because there are really nice people. And what I always tell her, and we always discuss that, we both have the same opinion that the day we find good people now, and we need to keep it.
Yes, don't leave them.
You know, you don't leave them, and you just be with them, and because there are very few.
Yeah, you know? You're right.
And yes, it might take time, but you will find.
I think people defame film industry, but I told him that, you know, film industry is the most safest place, according to me and according to our thought process. You know, nothing in the world is safe. But, you know, people just tend to defame film industry. They want to cling on to the people. Like last night only we were discussing that, you know, how people want to click pictures with all the stars and celebrities. But they want to defame कि film industry अच्छी नहीं है. क्यों अच्छी नहीं है? You know?
If you honestly, I'll give you a basic thing. 90% of the people in the world are like, you know, somewhere connected. So even if people are not watching films, they're dancing to film songs in weddings, in a normal party.
Absolutely.
Or
you can't take
somebody's acting.
It's part of our culture. You cannot you can't take films away out of what we have been grown up.
There would like 10 to 20% of people in the society who are like completely off. They don't watch films. They don't watch.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Like you go to even temples, we meet so many trustees and big people of temples. Even they are very fond. They all want a picture with an actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go to the political background, they all want it.
So many actors are politicians today.
Yeah, exactly.
Also. also.
पर film industry अच्छी नहीं है. But that I didn't believe in. I felt that you believe in yourself, you do honest work, you attract honest people, you attract good people, and that's exactly what happened to us. I think with Forensic we had a great team. We didn't have any difficulties. We were blessed. Of course it was hard work, passion, of course a good film. It is not that one factor follows you or works for you. It is the mixture of everything.
And you were asking what did we learn and what did we find out. I think what we realized and we found out is not to have a lot of expectations. Sometimes you tend to get so involved in the process, right? It's like conceiving a baby for a woman, like so when you're making a film, you're so emotionally attached to it. You keep a lot of hopes and trust on people associated with it.
Right.
What we realized that we should not have that.
But we still do.
We
have this fight all the time. We tend to trust people again. People break the trust, but we again trust the newer people. And of course, see, emotions.
But we found a solution for that.
What is
so
that?
The good part is that you should associate with people who are equally inclined towards one common goal of making something spectacular on screen.
Exactly. Greatness, something to create greatness.
If that goal is common, no matter how much you fight, whatever you do, you want to create a masterpiece which will be remembered forever. And that's what the aim should be. How the film will do well or not well, that is
secondary.
But the vision has to be the same.
The intention. It starts with the intention.
The intention. You need the people.
And like-minded people. I always, if you are in the group of like-minded people, everything works for you.
And smoothly.
Smoothly. Smooth is the word. Like in Forensic, I think Touchwood, we were totally smooth. We finished our Fit Friday. It was very smooth. Because of, the intent and the like-mindedness.
What about the Ruskin Bond stories?
Yes, so Ruskin Bond, yes. So I always believe in love. So probably everybody expected that once I come on the production front, I would be doing love stories. But I came with a crime thriller and everything. But love stories are my forte. Like I connect to love stories. And I believe in simple love stories. I don't believe love or life in itself is complicated. But love is love, and it has to be simple, then only we connect, and that's how Ruskin Bond stories are. And we are working.
But Ruskin Bond is also known for his ghost stories. He's also known for a lot of other kinds
crime
of genres.
Love, everything.
But still, his ghost story will always have some kind of love.
And a humor, there's something,
Yes.
But I think the love stories of Ruskin is something that she resonates very well with, because when people ask what is your genre, right? So, but I think love is something which is her genre, which she is really, close to. But yes, in terms when we make films, it's not that a particular producer will make only a certain kind of film.
No, you need a platter of.
Love is a universal subject, and Ruskin Bond stories that we picked up, I think those are universal project and subjects, and we are working on that. And 23 it is. We coming with Ruskin Bond.
And then after that, what else? Any international project?
So Ruskin Bond in itself is a global project.
It is a global project, but it is still an India, a writer from India who's Indo-Western.
It's English. It's like, people around the world, recognizes Ruskin Bond.
Yes. What about projects outside India? That's what I mean to say.
So we are working on a lot of scripts. Like I said in the beginning of our chat, that script is my forte. I work on the scripts. Until I'm not prepared, I don't come out. But our slate is quite full, and we are quite busy till 24, working on our own slate.
So we are acquiring some rights. We've taken some biopic rights as well. Ruskin Bond stories is something that we are working on.
What are the biopics? I'm interested.
We'll announce
So 23, just 1 month to go.
Okay.
So 23 we are coming out with
Plus we are working on a long-term vision with the story of 7 immortals.
Oh yes, I've seen the mythology.
That is a mega project that we've been working upon. Of course, our work is currently on that. When we want to create a universe, a world on its own. Like, how you have Marvel. Created that universe in the world.
And right now, there is that process happening with PS1, and this film's happening around in that space.
Accepting that kind of work.
Yeah.
So of course, but this that we are creating, it will be more culturally connected.
Yeah,
with
I
India,
heard about the
you know.
Chiranjeevi
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
it will talk
series.
about
Yeah.
Ashwatthama, it will
Yeah.
talk about Hanuman, Krishna, and
Yeah.
on the fact or on the talks wherein people say that these these deities or these individuals are in fact immortals and even exist today in different forms.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So that is the angle that we would be
Taking.
that and throwing light on that. So these characters in today's time.
Right.
So of course we need very good writing for that, which is
Yeah, we are working on it because Ashwatthama is already been, worked
Yes.
upon by many people,
Yes.
and so is Hanuman.
Yeah.
So these are the subjects that everybody would want to work. But here we are also working on it. But of course, it all depends when the script is done, and we are heavily working on the script and the writers. Like I said, the writers and directors are my people. Like
Did you watch Kantara, the film called Kantara?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did.
Yeah, it again comes back into a folk god,
Totally.
demigod space. So yes, today I think because of the experiments, also the fact that Southern cinema is doing so well today, and a lot of remakes have happened of late, of not just series or cinema.
Right.
So what is unique about that which you picked up, which is why you picked it up?
I feel it's the simplicity and the intelligence in 2 words. I think they make they make projects very simply, and they're intelligent people. Again, passionate. It's the film are made by heart, and which somewhere we are lacking, and we are trying to adopt their culture and the way of making films. But yes, I think simplicity will always prevail.
Also the fact that there is remakes in your platter,
So
but you're
many,
also
so
doing
many.
but you're also creating content which is independent of being a remake, right?
Yeah.
Working
There
with
are
writers.
multiple scripts which you
So my
working
scripts
on.
are almost ready. I was
Right.
working on 3 scripts. One was love story, one was again chasing story, like a very Tom and Jerry.
Okay.
And there are multiple scripts that I was personally sitting at and working.
Okay.
They are on the completion. So
Okay.
23, 24. That's why I said 23, 24.
Is a
And
lot of
myself,
work.
like lot of work. We are occupied with lot of scripts. I think scripts is the base.
Right.
Like we coming from a outside industry, how do we attract the actors? I think it's my script. It's my
Right.
story. That
Yeah.
I do not know anybody from the film industry.
Right.
But so is Varun. And like from real estate to coming from the films, I think it is a huge,
I think the biggest strength lies in identifying a story, building upon a story, and getting the right mix of creative people for that film, which is very important. And see, after COVID, what has happened, everybody's got exposed to a lot of cinema outside as well, from different countries, not just English, but different regions, be it Korea, be it South Asia, be it European, right? So people have become more intelligent, right? They want to watch something new, something different, right? They want to spend that 3 hours, 2 hours, in a cinema or on the phone or on the OTT platform, in a very, correct way, right way. They don't want to waste the time. They just don't want to watch something which they've already seen. They want a lot of
Innovation.
something new and fresh. So I believe that's the reason we're focusing on that, and that's what the biggest strength of our company is, and which all percolates from her. I always tell her, so that's where the focus is, and I think she should just focus on that. And of course, we're here for the long run.
Right.
People take many years to make a film. There is no competition as such that we are fighting with or with somebody.
Yeah, you
It's
just
that we need to compete with
working on your
ourselves.
own game.
Yeah. And,
Also the fact that what are the elements of the real estate industry you bring to cinema?
I don't think so. There's
No,
a lot of common facts.
The management, there could be organization, there could be so many
as
things.
I told you, right? Like a film is also managed in a way a company is managed, right? There are different vertical heads, and there are different multiple people that your EVPs and managers and the GMs and the senior managers. So every vertical is different, which has their own vertical heads. And there are the people which are under them, which are managing them.
In real estate, we have properties. In films, we have IPs.
Yeah.
So I convinced him that way. that, you know, I'm building IPs, you build properties,
Actually, yeah.
you know, you live in your
So
properties.
basically, you buy land. So when you're buying a land,
I live in
it's like-
mine.
I live in mine.
So in terms of resemblance, so like how you buy a land,
Yeah.
you buy IP over here.
Yeah, yeah.
You have an architect to design it. Here you have a director.
Exactly. See,
to have
it's
them
quite
doing it,
similar.
you know. And then you have the contractors to
Yeah.
build it. Here you have the entire team to produce
Yes,
it.
yes.
And eventually you're selling it to customers. Here you're selling it again to the audience. You know?
Yes, so that is, it's quite
that's,
similar.
That's the similarity which I can say is there
Yes,
between both the industries.
amazing. And what are the plans for 2024? You've told me, but what future? What is the future? What is that you're looking at? Are you looking at shorts? Are you looking at short films? Are you looking at different kinds of content?
Mini
produced?
film,
Mini.
Mini
Minimal?
yeah.
only mega films. Of course,
Okay.
we all are theatrical people. We
Yeah.
are working towards that, making films for the theatre.
Yeah.
So obviously, we are also considering that.
Yeah.
But OTT and theatre, I think it is, for us it is the creativity. For him it is business. For us also it's business. All of us, like,
Yes.
we all wait for that box office. And
Yeah.
of course, Sirfe Friday is 23.
Yeah.
Ruskin Bond is there.
Yeah.
We have bought good Malayalam rights again. And
Malayalam cinema is quite different genre. It's got a different writing
I think
style.
I got attracted because again they're very simple.
Yeah,
They
simply
show
told
the
stories.
massive things also very simply.
Yeah.
See, love is very simple. Like, we all say I love you.
Yeah.
There's no other way that we have to, and then there are
Express.
forms and there are expressions that we do things. You
Right.
need not say I love you to each other on a daily basis. But it is those small things that we do for each other in that daily basis.
Which show
which
that
shows
you
its
love
love.
the person.
So, as of now, of course, my love is for the films. It has always been.
Right.
And I'm not here a person, people say that, we are passionate, we are this. I'm literally obsessed with films.
Right.
So it is not that I copy English film or a Malayalam film. Even Forensic was not, if you notice, it was not a ditto copy.
No.
Yeah.
We put our things
Own
into it.
thinking
Own
into
thing.
it.
So that your own thing,
Yeah,
that
your
your
signature
own
has to be
touch
there.
is very important.
Right.
And of
Do you
course,
watch a film a day? What is your ratio of watching cinema?
every Friday I'm into the theatres.
Oh.
From my childhood.
Yeah,
Okay.
not now, for years.
That's the ratio.
And I used to watch like barely like 2 films in a cinema in a
In a
year.
year.
And
But
you
since
would
the time we got married, like every Friday we watched a
and
film.
then the car ride to discuss the film.
Yes.
Totally. Okay.
Friday nights are movie nights for us.
Yeah.
And you go out and watch the film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
theatre.
Yeah.
I'm a theatre person.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm obsessed. And it's not today.
What
it's
was your last film?
Bhediya.
Any kind of film makers that you look up to? I'm talking about the past, the people who you admire and look at them and say, okay, this is our kind
Yeah,
of cinema.
obviously. I have looked up to Yash Chopra.
Yeah.
I have looked up to Subhash Ghai.
Yeah.
And in today's time, I look up to Rajkumar Irani.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So
those are
these
the-
three are like my, a benchmark, you can say, or like people. Of course, I can't match them. I don't know if I would be able to match them. But yes, they are my, since I don't have a godfather, I watch their film and in my mind, they are my godfathers.
Yeah, I think she gets a lot inspired by the films, that are there, like
Right.
the good work
The,
is done.
the storytelling.
Yeah,
and
the storytelling, and she always appreciates good films. I've seen that in her, and she learns something out of that, and she will have it in mind, right? Like being so young, like I've seen her in so many conversations taking references of films which were there before even probably we were born, because she's watched that over a period of time, and she has those things
Memories.
in her mind, in her memories. So she still talks about movies in the 80s or in the 70s today as well.
Right.
I was like, that's amazing, memory of yours to like have that in you,
Yeah.
because it's difficult, not everybody.
So it
does,
was natural for her to gravitate into filmmaking. You always
Exactly.
knew that she
Yeah.
would.
I was
somehow.
8 years old when we used to watch Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. And I had, somehow heard Kajol's interview where she said, what are you guys making? So it was questioned to Aditya Chopra.
Yeah.
He said, I'm making a super hit film. I copied that line from then. I
That
said,
must be late 90s.
Yeah.
yeah,
She's remembering
Dilwale.
it after 22 years. Also.
So I that time felt like this is the line I'm going to say someday. That I'm here to make super hit films. And I actually did. When my first interview happened, I,
Said it.
at the
I
age of
think
8 to
Instagram
now,
also
I
needs
said that.
in the profile. She's written, I'm here to
Yeah.
make super hit
I'm
films.
here to make super hit films. What is my next film? It's super hit. So that was the line I picked up when I was 8 years old. Even when I did not know that I will end up become a producer one day, I thought I'll end up become a director. You know? So I always have this director's mind. Always having.
You're a producer with a director's mind.
Totally.
Yeah.
Who's into scripting as well.
Totally.
So you're
Absolutely.
I
completely.
get into the process. I love that pain.
Yeah.
He keeps telling me this all the time that only mad people can do this. You're totally mad. You're crazy.
Because there is a story of Kishore Kumar. There's a very interesting episode of Kishore Kumar. And he talks to himself, and there is this producer who's looking at him and saying that, why are you talking to yourself? So he says, I'm making there is a film that I'm acting in, but the producer is not agreeing to the actor's demands.
Okay.
So he says, who's the producer? He says, I'm the producer, I'm the actor.
Interesting.
So the conflict is, should I pay or not? What is
So
this?
for a normal person, he wouldn't understand that.
Yeah.
It would take forever such things to, be understood by some normal person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a touch of madness.
You have to have that madness. You have to have that energy. Like nothing, I don't get energy. Like if you talk films, I'll get excited automatically. If you talk something else, you talk about parties, you talk about normal things, I'm like, okay, can I go? Like, but story, like when I sit with my writers, I'm like, in the top of the world.
Yeah.
In fact, get into them, like,
What about international projects? What about projects? But when I say international, I mean Hollywood. I mean Arab cinema, because there's a lot of content on that side of the world, which is today being integrated. If you look at places like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the Middle East, Egypt is a big haven for cinema. It's got its own tradition of cinema. What about getting into that zone?
I think you have to be thorough. You have to be very well acquainted what you are doing. As of now, of course, like we are working on our slates and Hindi films is where, like, I don't get influenced by any culture, like for say Hollywood or anybody. I want our Hindi film industry to be original and to do well. I feel excited. I feel nicer. This is a hit film. Like, when you come out, I watched Uchai, or I watched Bhedia or Bhool Bhulaiya.
You're happy about
I'm happy.
The industry.
Okay, they're doing well. For me, it's not that, what is it? Of course, you can criticize about them.
Yeah.
Because you want it to be.
You wanted to be a film critic.
Yeah. You want to better things all the time. Creative people, I always tell him also, and I tell my friends, I tell my surrounding. Creative people, like, they are mad people, firstly. And they want, if they're criticizing, they're doing it for well. Like, producer is like a parent, it's like a mom and dad.
Yeah.
They want to completely and constantly rectify till you are at that perfect stage.
Yeah.
And you are never perfect.
Yes. But what are the things that you have to check within yourself as producer? Like you said, you're the parent and there is a ship that you are, heading. What is that you've learned in the process about yourself? Have you learned anything new about yourself in this entire process of becoming a producer?
I think it is your mind, which is the major role that plays in your life and in the journey. Like, we tend to be dependent on so many people. And I think during COVID, when we started off with Forensic and now that we are working on many other projects, I think you have to believe in yourself only. If you keep listening to people, if you keep talking to people, you have to cut off all of that.
You have to cut off the noise.
Totally. You have to listen to your heart and your soul.
If it tells you.
Whatever it tells you. Maybe it says, ye achhi picture nahi hai. I don't pick up. How do you pick up a film?
You hear the voice.
It's your guts. I like this, take it. I'll make films which, gives me satisfaction and entertain other people. It has to be a talked film. I don't want to become into like controversy. I want to make, that's why I said the names that I said, that Yash Chopra or Subhash Ghai, those are the films. Like Silsila, I remember Silsila or Lamhe. Like those are the films that I talk about even today.
Yeah.
They were ahead of that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Rajkumar Hirai, Munna Bhai, they are filmmakers, they're reputed filmmakers. Like you can't beat Subhash Ghai. Even today,
and the musicality. He also had a great...
Of course.
Apart from the fact that he is a great filmmaker.
Like, look at his films. Like, you can't beat. I always say you can beat any filmmaker, but not a Subhash guy.
Yeah.
That's my taste.
Yeah.
That's because he has made different films. He has not stuck to one genre.
Yeah.
He has made from Karma to Khalnayak to, so many others.
And he also gave music for a recent web series. And it was directed by one of his students.
Oh.
So he became a music director because he's very musical.
He has a music
All his
taste.
Om Shanti Om, that song. Se leke, if you look at Jai Ho.
Yeah.
These are all the refrains, the last word which keeps coming in a song. A lot of, he's very
Orchestra.
quick. No, he gets the words correct. Jai Ho, the film, the song is made by him. It is his input to the song. Similarly, the first one, Om Shanti Om, the Rishi Kapoor song, Curse. That word, the refrain comes from him. So you have to have a clear ear of what the audience will hum. And like. So I think that's again a very great observer.
My favorite film. Yes, it's very, very difficult to have that kind of spark and inside thing. So that is what I want to achieve. We are like from the new generation and we get distracted. Because we are into business. Kitna aa raha hai? Acha, ye aa raha hai, to we compromise. So I'm a person who doesn't compromise. I want it. I don't care, business kam ho jaye, koi baat nahi. Of course, people like, they see business first.
No, but I feel...
but you have a good balance.
What we have realized and what we also learned is creating the right kind of a balance. Though, of course, she's creative and I do not let a lot of business decisions, put on her. The reason I don't want to, barge into her creative space, with that burden.
Yeah, true.
But at the same time, I always tell her that you should at least know things, at least at the surface, what is there, so that you are able to create more successful films, even in terms of financials, right? Because if the film is financially doing well, you are able to create more stuff, right? And you are able to tell more stories for a longer period of time, right? And hence it is a impediment to to create the right kind of a balance, which I feel she understands now. And with the creative freedom, even if she wants to go out of the way, I feel then we also sit and discuss how we can create value in that. You know? So one is, of course, having the creative freedom to do it, but then also be able to understand and know how to create value out of that thing that you develop.
Yeah, but in today's time, you tell me that where are the films like a Khalnayak or a Tal or a Karma or a Kurz? These are variations of the films. Those are called films. People want to see the graph. They want to see the ups and downs. Today films are like, they are like interval tak aisa hai, built up hai, uske baad ye hai, uske baad ye hai, khatam picture. There's no motive. There's no memory. There is no, I would say sensibility is also at so many points. There's no attachment.
To the project?
To the project. There's no, the soul is missing in today's film, and I want to bring back that soul. And that can only come when you are in love with something. Like when you are in love with some person also.
I believe so.
Yeah. You go out of the way. And you
it is
have
not
to
work.
go out of the way.
No, it's not work. It's just your life. You're just pouring everything that you have into what you love.
Like in love stories also, you have to go out of the way. In love, you have to go out of the way. You can't just be
safe.
Yeah.
That's the word. You can't be safe. Okay, it is a safe game. You have to go out of the way.
You have to take the risk.
You have to take the risk.
Yeah.
You have to take the challenges. You have to take the pain. So for me, love is sacrifice.
I'm sure in terms of the filmmaking and the entire process,
that she will handle.
She reads it very well.
Yeah.
And she's there. Like she's 500% into it. I know there's no distraction for her. I know her commitment level is at the top. And I also know her involvement with each and every small details in the creative process is there.
If you love your thing, you will achieve, is my belief. And that's how I've achieved, in Forensic also. I think we have created a success story with Forensic. And we really love when people say that they've watched it. I mean, for me, that is a bigger high,
Yeah.
And till Forensic, we did not have any lineup. And now like I said, that now till 24, I'm occupied. We are occupied. And
because what people really appreciated is there is one thing that you made a film, and there is another thing that you made your first film, which is a big success.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
making one film and making a successful first film
Hmm.
is like two different things, and we've probably shown that with Forensic, and that's what I think people are.
I wanted to
quite
ask
amazed
you.
about,
I wanted to ask you whether the how was the reaction of the Malayalam filmmakers to Forensic? People who have.
I think we got
You've-
appreciation.
Yeah.
We were not trolled.
Okay.
In today's time, you get
Yeah.
trolled
Yeah.
and you're not appreciated.
Yeah,
I
that is
think
immediate on social
we were
media.
respected. I think that came across to us.
Yeah.
It was a respectful film in Malayalam itself, and even with our actors and
Yes,
director.
all great actors.
I think
Yeah.
all, it was conveyed very well. We were received very well, and I think our director, I think he did a brilliant job, and I thoroughly,
And the location and
Totally.
everything was
Exactly. A lot of people like different stuff in the
Yeah.
film. Like a lot of people said, okay, you guys got Vikrant and Radhika for the first time together on screen. There have been some great actors
Yes.
for such a long time,
Right.
but they never worked together. So
Right.
This was the first time they came together. You
Right.
know? Then, of course, the location people spoke about. Then the different twists which were there.
Yes.
It was not just one twist.
Yeah.
There was a twist after twist after twist.
Hmm.
You know, so people loved that. You know,
Yeah.
because not all have seen the South version.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The Hindi audience is quite
Yeah.
vast.
and even
quite
in
big.
forensic, we had opportunity to have lot of directors. Like lot of directors had shown interest to
work with you.
do this film. But it was again like I say, ki sometimes you have to refuse to achieve what you want to achieve.
So the art of saying no.
The art of saying no at a correct point.
Yeah.
We keep thinking, like if I would have hired some other director, I don't think forensic would have been forensic what it is today.
Right.
Like we had all the people attached to the film who were passionate and who wanted this film to do well, and they were sure about it. Nothing would go wrong with forensic was our belief, like
And it
because
didn't.
we were making a honest project.
Wonderful.
So intent and content is many things.
It was wonderful talking to you. I think this can go on and on because we're all passionate about cinema. But thank you very much for speaking to me,
Thank you
and
so much.
Thank you so
and
much.
it's a pleasure, real pleasure,
It's
to
a
speak to
pleasure for
such
us.
passionate filmmaking
Thank
people.
you so much. Thank you.